Yeah, like most are actually into writing narratives, no, and into writing articles, into writing essays. But poems dyan na straight lang, like poet na dyan siya. Wala kay ko nadunggan pa. So, but correct me if I'm wrong.
In
Like,
case you're
feel
wondering
free.
what you're listening to Keith Human. He is a musical artist and also a content creator for the Casa Gordo Museum. We're here on the spot at 105.1 TMC. I'm your host. My name is Jiggy Juice. If you want to communicate with us, kung namin ka ipangutana ni Keith Human or you and me, text lang 0999-887-6070, or you can go to eventually YouTube. Okay, we're supposed to go live on YouTube. Maybe Ron is still working on it. So, ang usunod na pangutana, Keith, is unsa may gamit sa pagsuwat o pinisayan? Unsa may utility nga dili na to kalimutan ang ato ang language nga binisaya sa pagsuwat in binisaya, sa pagbalak in binisaya, and pagsuwat og libro in binisaya. What's the utility of keeping our language? Kaya ingon mong sila kana kanong language is a living organism. Kunya, just like uh, we're on 99% of life on Earth is already extinct, and whatever we're seeing now, all the life forms here, this is 1% of what's left of us from millions of years ago. Language is going to die every day, and that's just the way that works. It's not a good thing, it's not a bad thing. Kuno, it's just a thing. In fact, mga words that never existed, like the word Riz or the word Rizzler, right? So dagan kayo mga inana. My question is, unsa may gamit? What's the utility magsuwat o kanta in Binisaya?
So it's our way on conjun preserving what we have, what we know now. Because in the future, there's actually a big possibility na posibleng possibly kayo ang hard emoji will be too deep to understand na. Bahala go, it's not really that hard to understand. It's just that the language you have right now, the Cebuano language that you know in the near possible or far future.
Okay,
Kaya
okay.
kuha na siya, murag obscure na kaya kung di pa word na di pang gamit yan.
Mm-hmm.
So in a way, it's a way of preserving it on what we know and what we have now. Because at the end of the day, we are all just at the end of our time, Jude. It's where we are all stories Jude written, and stories should not be written by victors, but also the people who lived a very. I mean, it doesn't have to be fruitful. Parang okay life lang. Victors should. Victors doesn't need to write all over history.
Okay.
We can also contribute. That's a way of contributing. Jude, to
What
writing.
Keith is talking about is, nagingon sila nga history is written by the victors. Pasabot na niya nga ang mga atong mga libro ang ibasa mo ni ang mga istorya sa mga mananao, sa mga winners, sa mga nakadaog, di ba? Katong mga napukan, katong mga napildi, wala to sila says history, right? And maybe if they're going to make a comeback, if you will, and then maybe they will rewrite history. Murag
Yeah,
ginana bitaw, murag.
yeah, this is your contribution to just writing in your
Yeah.
language or even just documenting. I mean, your Facebook post is a big contribution na. But in the future, tanaw mo na sa mga tao in the end. Like, from the year 2020, 80 years ago, mani ang language, mani ang ko. Like, we are all our own historians, if you will.
What did you say?
Like, we are all our own historians in a
Okay,
way.
okay.
Like, we all contribute to history.
I'm my question about what is the utility of writing in Binisaya. Um, of course, it also your answers are interesting, but I think aside from uh, the ability to preserve our own way of looking at the world, ang Pangutana also uh, has a bigger question, which is like, is it a way for us? Because ang ato ang damgo, especially here in 105.1 TMC, is really to develop a global star, right? Huwag natong damgo. That's our purpose of existence here. 105.1 TMC is to find a global star from amongst us. Uh, kung ganahan kay mo preserve sa ato ang pinulatang Binisaya, does that in any shape or form uh, affect our global acceptance? Or is that an instrument in I know that we become a global industry here in Cebu because we write in Binisay. I'm caught between those two forces because there's a shining example, of course, K-pop, for example, Kinoriano, and the world is accepting it. But kana atong Binisaya, what I mean, if you had to bet, okay, what is our first global star? Maybe let's define what a global star is. Maybe like a local artist, a Cebu artist, a Bisaya artist, na kanta that's accepted by the world as a Billboard charts, for example, or MTV, USA charts, or Euro charts, right? Will it be a Bisaya song or will it be an English song? If you
Well,
had to make a bet,
well, I think i-factor that if mag-Bisaya, I think it's the curiosity dyan sa language they're hearing ang makasell o maya. Because everyone, I think most of the continents in the world would speak English. So that doesn't really make you stand out dyan
okay,
at the end. So, in the end, at the end. I'm sorry.
it's okay. It's okay. Your
And
English teachers aren't listening. That's all right.
I'm so sorry. Sa mga English teacher na.
No, but that's fine. That's
But
fine.
yeah.
You know, but because I
I think
think
Bisaya,
that the purpose of communication is to be understood, right? So katong batong mga grammatical errors, whatnot. I mean, like,
goes to show one script ha.
Yeah. No. I think magod to the much to the chagrin of a lot of English teachers, and kind of language magod is not owned by you. Is not owned by any one person in particular, right? So
Influence.
it's a living organism. So what you perceive to be or what is correct at that time may be completely totally wrong in another time, right? If you impose the rigidity of the rules of a language, murag, you sound like pampos kay kasanan ba? You know what I mean? Like you're so prim and proper when you speak, right? So dili na nung ka acceptable to sa kinabalan, di ba? Because that's not the way they speak, right? Dili man na inana ilang pag-express ilang kagalingon. So kung mag-inana ka, pwede ka paminawan ka ng itawag punyo kay ka, di ba? Di ba? Kaning hi-hat na kay ka, di ba? So kung imuhang purpose, depende sa kung sa purpose mo ani who your audience is. But kung imuhang purpose in your communication is to be understood by most people, mas daghan, then you have to speak their language too, right? Kaya kung maglinaw ka og in English o maglinaw ka Binisaya, di na sa matuon nila, right? Right? So like what is your thought process when you write a song? Is it just pure expression of the contents of your heart? Or part of that is also how am I going to say this that they will understand? Is that what's your thought process? Maybe you can describe this.
Well, I usually start with a narrative because I don't really end my songs like kind of fade out lang. Like, I really want to end the narrative.
To end the narrative, okay?
So most of my songs are really story driven. So in a way, I don't really want to start the song without ending it.
Okay.
So it's a really long process, but some of it came from the heart and some of it came from influences. But most of it came from the intention. I want to serve the narrative of the song so much. So I'm not gonna leave it there if wala ko na akong tinto.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah.
So at what point do you feel na kontento na ka? Because I have this favorite philosophy that a good job is never done. Uh, so when your song is done, do you feel it's done, or do you feel there's always something that you can improve on? maybe perhaps
Because
change
yeah,
it.
it's never ending.
It's never
Yeah,
never
it's never
stops,
ending.
right?
But sa songwriting, yeah, I could feel na it's done because oh, nice na siya na ending. Or nice na siya na sige, last chorus na. But sa production wise, no, up until now, I mean, it's been a year since I released my debut album. But the production on that record, I still wish I could redo. I think my friend Alvin and I still wish we could redo some production. Like it's never ending yet. Yeah, sakto dyan. It's a never ending. Oh, I wish I did this, not that. Oh, I wish I did that, not this.
And they're also songwriters na ilang kanta medyo let's just say dated ba? Kana bitang ilang kanta nga dili mo age well. You know what I mean? There's songs nga subuan nga tong tao mo to kaning what does that mean or you know like, especially kung mag-iskot ka of technology for example, di ba? So, what's a landline? You know what I mean? Like, what's a phone book? You know what I mean? And then you talk about let's just say social media, for example. Let's just say Facebook, yeah. And you listen to the song 50 years from now, Facebook doesn't exist anymore. Facebook. So and maybe it was a thing that was let's just say appropriate back then, you know, and now it's inappropriate, you know, like that was fine back then, but now it's considered assault. You know what I mean? So now
It's not relevant.
yeah, it's not relevant. So akong pangutana mo today is like, do you think about how your song will age, or you just express it, or you let it just let it go and not care at all? What's the main thought process in that department?
Oh, I still, yeah, there's a hope, there's a certain faith in me na nakahope na, oh, I wish that people in the future will understand this because I do believe most careers here are slow burn din. So, we can,
Slow burn.
okay.
Okay.
Ka na mo igo pa sa mga tao. Like, nandiyan na a future kid someday is gonna hear the songs I'm listening to now and mo na igo guru sa'yo or something.
Okay.
So, in a way, when I read, I tend to keep it general lang sa
Mm-hmm.
though there's a certain part of me that really wants to make a song about Facebook on how
Okay.
oh there's a certain side of me that wants to make a song about TikTok, but I don't really I don't really want to encapsulate myself. That's the term. I don't want to encapsulate myself in a time good na even karon like it's always changing. So I don't want to encapsulate myself in an age jud na always changing to the point na ako na noon ng kuan, wala na nang kugbadol kinisuwat ko ani. Then a few months later, na ilis na si grind up. Yung gusto ko song about. So it's very it's
It's fluid, right? It's fluid.
Yeah,
In
fluid.
case you're wondering what is happening here, you're listening to Keith Human. What does it mean to be human on the spot with Jimmy Juice? We're now live on YouTube.
Hello.
Hello, YouTube.
Hello YouTube.
If you want to join us in our conversation, you just go to youtube.com/Tops Media Center and look for the On the Spot. And it's got a nice little small rectangular button that says live. So you can join us in our conversation with Keith Human, digital creator and musical artist. You mentioned you have an album. Tell us about the process of the album. When was this made, and how long did it take for you to make your album? What is it called?
Oh, it's called Boringly Wild. It was
Boringly Wild.
Yeah.
Wow, that's an oxymoron. What's that about boringly wild?
I think it's how I describe youth actually. Well, it's really just me describing myself too because I was young. We were young once, G.
Mm-hmm.
So mo to
I beg to disagree. I am still young. Shame on you. You.
yeah, but we were young once, and then everything that we thought was wild was not really wild. It's just an everyday life where that person over there. So mo like, oh, boring day. Akong pagkabatan mo because it's not that. It's very comparable. Just like we are in this age. I am in this age na murag mag-compare naman sa mong childhood or sa mong youth, but then kanang you don't know like we are so tamed down to compare to how others are going through it. But oh, yo, kinabuhi ito na. So that's really boringly wild. Like it's really for people that thinks they are original. It's really for people na kanang mga picnic ng mga tao na
What's
no,
a picnic?
kung ka ng mga picnic like oh I'm so unique. And, so basically no, you're not like actually most of us one way or another went through the same paths. So you're not that unique. It's just that you know we need to find some common ground. Ano lang, like we're not that unique. We all have a common ground.
You think so? You think so? You know what? One of my all-time favorite songs from U2, from Ireland, is called
No, I love you.
"Origin of the Species." I don't know if you know that song.
Oh,
It's about how
kadip ka.
we. It is about how we are. There's nobody feels like us. Nobody feels like Keith. Nobody looks at the world like Keith. Nobody writes like Keith. We are our original of the species. Like there's only one Keith human in the world. That's the way they look at the world, and that's the way they look at the self. But you said we're not that unique. We're not that
Most of
special.
us,
So,
our
so, so,
experiences.
so you feel that we're not that special. You feel that we're not unique. We don't even have the same fingerprints. We're different down to the skin, right? So can you please expound on your thought that we're ordinary, we're all the same?
Well, not really ordinary. More on, we all have our stories to tell. We all have our own key,
Unique stories.
unique stories to tell. But we all also have our. But it's just that in that certain time frame of an era, like the 2010s, you're not really that original if you think ikaw rin ay tumbler in an era.
Mhm.
Like there's a millions of people. So it's just that you haven't met them. That's why you feel so original. You feel so entitled na, oh, kuan kay ko so na I was so unique. Like, I was a cargador. I was a, no, ganyan mo cargador. It's just that you are one of the lucky ones that get to tell that story because most of them decided to move on and lived and not to tell that side of their story lang sa, because someday they will and then you will realize na, and that's how they became friends. Oh, cargador sa una, sa una. So in a way, in a way, we are unique, but we are not that different from each other. We tend to go on. I mean, we tend to think much that we are unique. No, I mean, all of us are. I mean, we have. That's very true.
That is a kind of narcissism. By the way.
Hmm?
That's a kind of narcissism. You think you're unique. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all it is. But no, like we all have a shared experience. Like we all have a shared story, but it's just that it's from a different perspective. And it's really nice to know how small our narrative is compared to how big
the universe is.
the universe, the world is.
Nag-isgot ko na, and in fact, nag-isgot ko ganyan about what it means to be a Cebuano, and the Cebuano-ness, that's the word that you used.
Hmm.
Uh, and we talked about how we are not really that unique, we're not really that original, right?
Mm.
But ang most stand out man po especially in the entertainment industry, especially in the arts, is uniqueness, you know. That's something I've never seen before. What was that? You know, like when Elvis Presley came on stage, he was like, "What the hell is that?" Right? You know what I mean?
Both of like
Yeah, like
the energy.
and you know, in a world where everybody was a balladeer, there was this guy who was just what on earth is it? And it was like the first time they saw rock and roll, right? I mean, like you've been to rock concerts, I'm sure, right? And then you probably seen that so many times on video or maybe seen different rock concerts before. And so when you see rock and roll for the first time, imagine how mind blowing that is. Ang pangutanan dali, Keith, is I'm always I know it is a futile attempt, but I'm always, especially for the Cebuano artist, in search of original. Um, I'm looking for that, like you said, Cebuano-ness. Some of you know, what's may pasabot mo ng Cebuano-ness? Kung saan mo pasabot mo, Bisaya ka. Okay, is it just merely the language in which you articulate your thoughts? Kanang imo na ng mga pinulungan ng Bisaya, pero ang imo ang iskutan kay it's actually something that happens all over. It's not unique to the Bisaya Cebuano experience. What do you mean when you said earlier kanang Cebuano-ness?
Also, oneness is we're influenced by a lot of things, right? Like even the Japanese culture, even the American culture. But the one thing that really defines the Cebuanos is influence kay kaani, even your sound, even your pamormo. But inig deliver na nimo, inig suwat na nimo, mugawas gyud pa ng imong pagka Cebuano. Like you're still
Okay.
writing in Bisaya, you still kuan, you still think about the English na word but nakahiskot ka pud ka og dahan sa Banawa, ay kanang the Banawa Street or Nagabiwak Sunrise, and like there's always that certain kuan, like certain belonging gani na yeah, I lived in Cebu. Although I'm influenced by this, but I am happy to live here. I lived here and I've seen this place in Cebu.
You know, in case you're wondering what you're listening to the voice of Keith Human. He's a musical artist. He's also a content creator for the Casa Gordo Museum, among other things. And he's here live on the spot on 105.1 TMC. Kung namoy mga pangutanan, namoy mga request, maybe namoy ganani pabuhat, just let us know. Text 0999 887 6070, or you can go to YouTube at Tops Media Center. You're listening to On the Spot with Jiggy Juice, with our what does it mean to be human with Keith Human. Um, in this world that is being radically changed by the internet, by social media, in this world that is so interconnected now more than ever in the world's history, as technology uh, improves exponentially, we will get more interconnected, right? And na before, yun sila, the future is homogeneous. The future is homogeneous, meaning saying everyone will sound like each other, will look like each other. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about that affecting the way we express ourselves in the arts, and especially when it comes to singing, right? You know, with the advent of AI, we can't have a conversation without AI being introduced. So let's talk about that. Like, how do you feel about the future is homogenous and the future will all look the same for everyone all over the world? We will lose our binisaya language. We will lose the way we look at the world from our unique perspective, and look at the world the same way because of social media, because of the internet, because of our interconnectedness.
It's very terrifying, to be honest. It's very terrifying because I don't think we will ever have a certain personality na noon, because every personality we have kay parehara din sa imong kaatbang, imong kakuan ano. But I think that's where the culture and heritage comes in. That's where the Cebuano-ness rather comes in. Yeah, pareha tag Panagway, but they don't really write like us. I am a fellow Cebuano, and this fellow Cebuano of mine writes the same way, but writes a different way on Cebu, and that's where the culture. That's why I said ganina na we all are historians in a way. We are here. If you write in Bisaya, you're actually contributing ganun to keeping a certain certain keeping a certain preserving a certain time na this is
Because
something.
songs are like time capsules too, right?
Yeah, they are time capsules.
If you're an anthropologist and you have the ability to access, let's say, digital technology 1,000 years from now, and understand how a key human, a human being in Cebu, Philippines, looked at the world, that's going to be very informative, right?
Yeah, it is.
If you can turn on the computer 1,000 years from now, I'm sure there's going to be a different kind of technology. Maybe it's not going to be digital anymore, so maybe that's going to be very interesting, right?
Yeah, go on. Kita dyan don't take preserve, like all of us.
Yeah.
Like there's no.
We're all custodians of,
Yeah, we're custodians.
of
Yeah,
our history,
custodians.
right? Right.
Actually,
And,
good,
and,
good term, good
and,
term.
and speaking of custodian, we have another time capsule here that is song. It's called Hail Aphrodite. Tell us about the song.
Oh, Hail Aphrodite is. It was very much influenced by hard rock. I think it's my.
Hard rock, the bar and restaurant, or hard rock, hard rock?
Well, not the hard rock restaurant, but the hard rock genre.
Okay.
I think at that time I was so in love with The Who
Okay. The
And-
Who.
and Led Zeppelin.
Di ako naman mga kinalaan mo influence, right? These are artists that predate you, right? I mean, like they were already around before you were born. You mentioned earlier, what's his name?
Bob Dylan.
Bob Dylan. Now Now it's the Who. I mean, the Who, like, they were like back in the 60s and 70s, but before you were born. So how do you get to be such an old soul, man? Did your father put you into all of this and showed you all of the Who and Bob Dylan, or was it like you
And
discovered them by yourself?
murag ko,
Tell me.
murag na domino effect dyan. I think it started with Papa making me fall in love with Tears for Fears, and
Okay.
then there's this U2 sad actually, but wala pa kabutan ng original species.
Okay.
And then,
Well, that's a relatively new song
Oh.
actually.
Oh,
So so you mentioned the Who. Nang the Who man. Nang the Who man.
na-inlove dyan ko silang setup dyan ka ng
You mean like band
like,
up?
like bass, the double drums, and like the guitar, and then Roger Daltrey's vocals.
Yeah.
Mhm. Ganun ko sa ilang ka, like, that back, like, I can't even believe back then, arena rock na, karon this just a local band in a bar dito,
Yeah.
na set up. Like, I can't imagine a band that loud, but you can tell how loud they are, because they are often referred to as arena rock, man, so,
Arena rock.
like,
I've never heard of that term, arena rock. What's arena rock?
I think it was actually a term, it was a subgenre that you describe sa YouTube when they peak of Mayo. Because if you think about it, but no, like you can't imagine this played as elsewhere sa bar, it wouldn't work the same way arena kay
It'd be too loud, right?
oh, ma-feel dyan mo sa arena. Bono.
Echo ang sound, di ba?
Oh,
But if you play it in a small bar,
yeah.
lahing igo, di ba?
Oh, like you. Pero
So,
arena ganun kay maka.
But
Raise
like you
the-
said, this is very commonplace now. Kung mo naman ganyan na
Oh,
arena rock music, like people sing like songs from Journey, from the Who, like in small bar, right? So-
I can't believe na. Don't believe.
But you're right though. Na kaning mga kantaha, kaning mga klase sa bandaha, this is supposed to be consumed in an arena, right? But you're listening to them in a bar. That's why hindi ka magdungog, di ba? Naputing sa baa kay that's not a song that's made for this venue. Okay, this is Keith Human trying to sound like the Who. Is that correct?
Yes, very much. Very much.
It was you trying to sound like The Weeknd. Now this is you sounding like the Who, or trying to sound like the Who.
This is the real me.
Listen. So maybe we'll play one more song and then invite them to download your music, watch your performances, and maybe we can do a show here, man. Maybe you can do a show here, like, if you have time, like on Saturday mornings, maybe like do a show here. Yeah, what does it mean to be human? Maybe you can talk about stuff, and like the way you talk about it with your friends, yeah, you can do that, man. So that it won't be too expensive for you. You can probably just take we have a bus from IT Park back here. You know what I mean? Think about that, man. If you have time on Saturdays, it's this is an invitation. And our business model here is, if you get a sponsor, we split. If I get a sponsor for you, we split into half. So, for example, if I get a sponsor, let's say IPI, whatever the contract price is, magtungan na. So if you get a sponsor from wherever, so that's how to make it worth your while also.
But the concept sa show is well, it's sabon music and
Yeah, whatever. It's up to you, man. Kato, what does it mean to be human is a very wide concept, man.
yun to yung at least kinaabot as tumong ra.
Human,
But ito sayang means to be human, the conversation.
maybe you can do a human show. The human show. Huh? Definitely not made by aliens.
Namay paligyan og lunch. Namay kananan dire
Yeah, of
lunch.
course. Oh, like, these are all restaurants, man.
Oh, okay. Oh, I did not go past the second floor. Actually, my second time here.
Okay. Mulagi ko ba? I can hear Roger Daltrey.
Ay, wonder, wonder ka nakakuha. I actually want to make more songs like this. But ano, mas tingnan mo siya live.
Ansa, ansa?
Murag, ganaw ko na mag-write of more songs na inanis at kisapa ko. Ano, bito?
It's the season of giving, and we're giving you mega saves at Subaru Home Angular Center. Mega year-end sale. Get ready for mega discounts on everything you need for your dream space. From stylish tiles to durable hardware to stunning lighting and kitchen essentials, we got discounts you won't want to miss. Prices are slashed down across the board. 15% off on those DIY and houseware products. 20% off on all lighting fixtures, and up to 15% discount on select tiles and toilet and bath fittings. And there's more. Get an additional 2% off on our Sunday special. Whether you're building, renovating, or simply updating, this is the best time to get more for less. Visit any of our Subaru Home and Builder Center branches in Manila, Montan, and Alcalzo, Consolacion, Villa, Carcar, Toledo, and enjoy mega deals all season long. Don't miss out. Hurry and shop the mega year-end sale on November 15 to December 15, 2024, and experience the joy of savings. Subaru Home and Builder Center, where your dream home comes to life. See you there. Release at Fairtrade Brenda Oscar, CV84, Series of 2024.
Kung walang anak, nakababahala, bakit problema? Para dyan, Plemex for Kids ang pambatuko. Ang Plemex for Kids ay gawa sa lagundi.
Gusto siya, answer na sa siya, sweldo. 15-30 yung ang pay niya.
Sa bata.
Sa if na-show ka rin.
Wala siya sweldo. Wala siya. Wala siya kaning wala siya sweldo. Wala siya kanang 50-50 lang yun. 50-50, but whatever you make, whatever you get, 50%. So that's our mga shows today. Kita lang ba? Mas sponsor rin mo ang Aboitis. Maybe like you can have a show about ancient artifacts.
Walad ka ng ilangan ng kuwan. Ilang mga advocacy.
Oh, di ba? I can help you with crafting a letter if you like. But I think what you have to do first is summarize your show concept. What you want. Akong idea was the human, which is I think appropriate also because of your name at the same time.
Pwede sa no, marag mo special guest ko. Musicians na.
Pwede
Mga acoustic na talk about what we're talking about. Actually, ganun ko.
Pwede kayo. Okay.
The meeting niya, that is very
See?
fun track.
Yeah. Let's do that, man.
The Tops New Year Countdown is brought to you by Tops, the Villa Hotel, and 5.1 TFC, the best of us.
And still live on 105, we have Keith Human. What does it mean to be human? Keith, of course, is a musical artist and a content creator for the Casa Dorado Museum. We're here talking about stuff about music and all. And nagdaan man ni si Keith o kaning gitara o sa mga Keith.
Oh,
Is that
harmonic.
harmonica?
Yeah, harmonica.
Wait, okay. Is that a what?
Oh, yeah, it's harmonica.
Harmonica. So maybe gandam siguro rin siya kanta pina Bob Geldof. Bob Geldof naman what's his name again?
Bob Dylan.
Bob Dylan. Bob Geldof man. Bob Dylan. Kaya di ba hiling mo to harmonica si Bob Dylan ba?
Oh.
So are you gonna sing to us? Are you gonna sing for us a song or something?
Oh, okay.
Is that what it is? Can you do that?
Yeah.
Kung saan mo kantahan, Keith?
I wanna play Taxis Waiting for You.
The taxi is waiting for me.
for you.
For me. Wala man dili na taxi itong ito, pero matutulog Grab na nga, di ba?
Love na.
Or ito na kanang Maxim or ito na kanang habal-habal, or what do you call that?
Oh,
What do you call that habal-habal?
kanang move it na.
Move in naman na, di ba? So, is this an original? No?
Yeah, it is an original song.
Wow, okay. So what we'll probably do is you have to set this up first. Maybe you can put the microphone on the guitar, lower it a little bit. Yeah, pwede na siya malower yan. Yeah, hold on, give me a second. We're setting up our live performance from Keith. If you hold on, give me a second. Just get the headphones.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
Nakuha na siya. And then your voice there. Oh, give me a second. How about that? Let's tune the guitar. Can you hear the guitar? Can you play that? Is that on? Can you hear the guitar?
Yeah.
Okay. In case you're wondering what is happening, we're just tuning our instruments here.
Yes.
Keith Human
No backing tracks. No
is
backing
here
tracks.
live in the studios of 105 for On the Spot, and he's ready to sing a song. It's called "The Taxi Is Waiting." Before we perform this song live for the first time ever, tell us about this song. What is the song?
Oh yeah, The Taxi Is Waiting for You is about. It's the opener of the Born in the Wild album. It's the opening track of the Born in the Wild album. It actually.
Boringly Wild album. Okay,
Yeah, it readies you for the journey ahead.
what's the journey ahead?
It's the nightlife. This actually the concept of the whole album is the surrounding, journeying through the nightlife and then going back home just in time for prom night, which is the last song.
What? So
The album.
wait a minute. So I'm trying to visualize what you're trying to say. So that you're going out, you're out, and then you're finally going home to get ready for the prom. So these are
Prom night.
two different events, right?
Yeah, what is it gonna the
Mura-
night before prom night?
So
One concept
so
album.
the night before prom night,
Yeah.
and then
It's a pseudo musical.
pseudo musical. Wow.
Because I really want to make a musical of my own.
Oh wow, that is ambitious, man.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a performance for the ages. For the first time ever, performing live here on 105, we have Keith Human, and The Taxi Is Waiting.
Look at the clock, it's almost 10. It's only night, yet I lost my patience. Out the window, see the street. Don't wanna drink, just hard love for me. My friend called me, I said I'm coming. Not so it's unspoken sin. You passed me and met me, hidden surprise. I grew up with somebody I used to despise. Out on the street, I scanned the houses, and nobody's home. Oh Lord, give me a sign, I wanna die before I get old. The sound of engines running, drunk people lost on the pavement. Oh boy, here we go. Pull yourself together, the taxi's waiting for you. I've seen worse, I would go up the mass. Nothing's worse than a mystic man. Goodness gracious, look at me. I know it better, I'm just like them. Out on the street, I scan the houses and nobody's home. Oh Lord, give me a sign, I wanna die before I get old. The sound of engines running, drunk people snores on the pavement. Oh boy, Pull yourself together. Taxi's waiting for you. Taxi's waiting for you. Woo. Out on the street, I scan the houses and nobody's home. Oh Lord, give me a sign, I wanna die before I get home. The sound of engines running is drunk people, snarls on the pavement. Oh boy, here we go. Pull yourself together, the taxi's waiting for you. Taxi's waiting for you. Taxi's waiting now. The taxi's waiting for you. Taxi's waiting for you.
Wow, that is impressive. Whoa, ladies and gentlemen, Keith Human, the taxi is waiting for ya. That is a very, very, very interesting song. Tell me more about the whole concept of the nightlife and the taxi waiting in the prom that you sort of started off with before you performed the song.
Well, first off, I'm a frustrated filmmaker, so that's actually
Okay.
just a concept of a film I wanted to make back then. But yeah, the
Okay.
taxi's waiting for you. Taxi for us in the nightlife is very mostly aggressive
Yes, of course.
before we go to the nightlife. Especially
Okay.
when I was young, like
Okay.
lagan mo dyan tatanan.
Uh-huh.
So basically, the taxi is waiting for you is a vessel to another dimension, a world na wow. Mo din ang gabi sa Cebu. I thought ko an ra hilom ra ang Cebu, especially from where we live no say hilom naman.
Mhm.
Then murag mo ato ka sa Mango, mo ato ka sa Mandaue, mo ato ka sa di na di pangitabo. So yeah, a lot of things
That was,
can happen.
you know, I was, to be honest with you, I was blown away. Thank you so much for that amazing performance, Keith Human. Ladies and gentlemen, you know, you always put the word frustrated every time you say it. And you set up a song. For example, this is your way of sounding like The Weeknd, you're frustrated, The Who, you know, and then you were frustrated. Filmmaker, you mentioned, right?
Oh yeah.
Why is that? Why do you always have a caveat? Now, some people get frustrated. What do you mean? What is so frustrating about it? Why can't you be those things that you want to be? I'm curious. Why can't you be that weekend? Why can't you be the who? Why can't you be a filmmaker?
Oh, because limitations.
Okay.
Limitations.
Okay.
And then I think ano siya, the circumstance na sa in life na, oh yeah, we can't be them because they already existed.
I remember somebody once said, and I attribute this one to Jimmy Kimmel, but I'm not sure 100% if it's from him. He said something like, who we are as an artist is our failure at the attempt of sounding like them. For example, if you were to sound like, let's just say you sound like the Who, you're never going to sound like the Who. Because the Who is one of a kind, right? And at least more likely than not, you're not going to sound like the Who because you're not the Who. You're not Roger Daltrey, right? But it is your failure at the attempt at sounding like the Who that makes you who you are. That makes you a kind of original because you failed at the attempt. So that's what he said. What do you think?
Oh,
Huh?
that's very nice.
So in a way,
It's very nice.
it is a kind of failure, but a kind of success at the same time, right?
I think my girlfriend never fails to remind me. My partner never fails to remind me that you don't have to sound like them because you're basically you. Like every time she would listen to a work of mine, umingon siya na I wanted to be this. I wanted to sound like this song, that song. And then I said, no, it's you.
Okay, so
It's
so you,
always been you. And then it's what keeps me going. So oh, bitaw, no, like bitaw. I really agree with that statement. Bitaw, no.
your album Boringly Wild. When did this come out?
Oh, last year,
Last
October,
year.
October 23.
So
23.
did you release this one with much hoopla, or was it like just a, like you said, a slow burn? No fuss, no muss.
Oh,
You
it,
released something
it is a
recently?
slow burn. It was released through Mount Records. My
Melt Records.
Yeah.
What's happening Melt Records? This is like a local recording company? Is it international?
Oh,
National?
it is it is a Cebu-based independent music distributor and
Okay.
label.
Okay.
And then yeah, I'm thankful for them for believing in my vision because I don't think I don't think I'd be where I am now. I don't think I'd be as frequently playing
Mhm.
and actually playing around the city and guesting without them distributing my music. So
Okay.
it's a very big part.
If you don't mind me asking me, who are your record mates?
Oh, the frequent one that was recently signed this year was Vincent Echo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah, so
Because you know what? I when I first heard Vincent Echo in a live performance at Mango in that place called Draft Punk, I really approached him and said, "Hey, bro, you sound like what's his name?
Bob Dylan.
Bob Dylan.
Yeah, yeah,
He sounds like Bob Dylan, right?
yeah. Last week, Bagoromi.
He sounds like Bob.
Yeah, for
He's
the
like
first
I
time.
told the
Yeah.
Bob Dylan of Cebu, and it's interesting how your stablemate. Why is there like a kind of sound that does Melt Records like Bob
Um,
Dylan sounding artist?
Ano, buwan nagka-timing lang dyan.
Okay.
I think I was signed in 2021. I think recently lang dyan siya na-signed. And then, it's such an honor because I've been looking up to him dyan since 2017.
Okay,
16. I was a fan of his music. I remember being there for Kiss and Disappear, his debut
Vincent
album.
Echo, yeah.
Yeah. I was there during his debut album launch and it amazed me and it actually inspired me. At that time, I was kind of thinking that I should just stop doing music and focus on school. I mean, which I did. So thankfully, nag-home sa dyan.
Thank God your daddy is heaving a sigh of relief.
And then yeah, motto din kung ano siya, like life changing. Like it's nice to know na a fellow Cebuano artist shares the same vision as I have. And
So you
then,
must talk a lot about Bob Dylan, right? Both of
Yeah,
you,
actually,
Vincent and you.
we were planning to watch A Complete Unknown together
Wow.
this January because like amo mga first love is
Yeah.
Bob Dylan.
Maybe we can set up something that maybe you can have like a kind of. I'm sure there's going to be like a premiere of the show. Maybe we'll have like a performance of you and Vincent Echo. You
Oh,
know,
that's
at the lobby of the theater. I'm imagining the event now. And you do like Bob Dylan songs. You do both know some Bob Dylan songs,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Okay, let's play a song before we play your final song, and before we wrap this interview. Let's play a song from your co-record mate, Vincent Echo. This is one of my favorites from him, aside from Kiss and Disappear. I like this one called Libo.
Mm.
Vincent Echo, from the same recording company as Keith Human, on 105.1 TMC, the best of us. So we're gonna play "Leave Your Baggage by the Door" as our final song. Everything okay over there, Jill? How did you get to Bob Dylan, man?
Oh, buwan. Nipalit ko atong sa book sale na 500 kanang sa Rolling Stone, kanang 500 greatest albums. Murag na-curious ko, kaya may siya may hisgot. Kinsa man yung tawhan na mo to na search ko sa katong, I think, naka-remember ko itong Blowing in the Wind ang first album. Oh, buta na yun. So after to, kaya marag natin ko ang coat hanger sa akong mama, akong gimong holder. Then mo tapos kung gimong ko ano, naka-order ang koan, yung coat hanger na wire.
For the harmonica?
Oh, mo to din. Tapos nakataon, buta din. First time ko nakadungog ko, ito karoon na artist. Kumulog na ko, this is nice. I should be like him. Then marag,
Yeah, you should perform more often, man. How often do you perform, man? Like how often does a local artist like you get gigs? Like
oh, monthly na aman, but usually as a full band, but stripped down na acoustic panagsa.
but the whole harmonica and guitar is fine already, man. You know what I mean?
Punong na bito siya. Muna akong gi-try og bring jud na I am much better.
Yeah,
Kaya
yeah.
lang, just the two things.
Like one like I think performing live with an audience sharpens you ba
Oh.
in a way ba, diba? But mo lagi na, ngayong uban nga kaning kung palpira ko komportable na kayo sila nga kanang magtukar-tukar sila og cover songs. So in a way they're sharpened but they're also kaning more of stuck ba. So mas maayos nga 105.1 TMC, Vincent Echo and Lebo. Nice song too, right?
Yeah,
And both of them
that's
share the same recording company, and they share the same
Really,
record label, and they also share the same musical idol, who is Bob Dylan, which is crazy because they both sound like Bob Dylan. Before we wrap this interview up, Keith, once again, thank you so much for being here. Thank you
thank
so
you.
much for braving the mountains of Busai to be here on top of everybody. We are 2,000 feet closer to heaven. So yeah, thank you so much for
Thank you.
being part of On the Spot. Keith, you have we have a lot of listeners who would probably want to be an artist, a musical artist. What is your advice to them?
Stay true to yourself and intention, and also practice practicality. Like, do not burn yourself out. Like, it's always, do not burn yourself out. Like, do not go extreme lang kayo. Like, there's certain limitations to what we can do and what we cannot do. And yeah, budget practicality and go and also do not ever let that fire out. I think that's the thing that I have learned throughout the years. Consistency, jud, like the ang imong paki sa imong passion.
Your passion, yeah.
Yeah. Like, you have to be consistent with it.
I,
Don't let that.
I think I speak for a lot of artists, and correct me if I'm wrong if it's not true to you, but I think part of the fire is kind of support, right? You need a support group, right? Not just from your immediate family, but
Yes.
maybe from your brothers and sisters, atong mga kaigsuunan sa siyudad sa Subo, atong mga kaigsuunan sa Visayas,
Yes.
sa Pilipinas, sa Kalibutan, right? We need support for our craft, right? We need to know that what I'm doing is all right. What I'm doing is good. What I'm doing is connecting, right? And what is your message to the public at large, like to everyone listening to this broadcast right now? Kung sa man mo ang mensahe nila, do you want them to support you? And if your answer is yes, how do you want them to support Keith Human as an artist and other artists in general?
It starts just by going to the gigs. Actually, I think most artists here doesn't have the chance to be played on the radio, sadly. But go on to say, like, you have to start by going there. Go support your local preferences, as the great Cobra Commander would say. Na imagine na yung pero may iingon siyang gig. Support your local preferences. Because yeah, they din na tumabeta ng music na i-release din. But local preferences na mo, support them because I think going to their gigs is a big part sa amuang career actually. I think most of your favorite artists started from doing local gigs, and then yeah.
And I think, of course, it doesn't have to be a ticketed event, right? It could be like an invitation to perform in a like in a mall, for example, right? Or maybe in a bar or a restaurant, right? Or maybe a place like this at Tops, right? So maybe the message is also to those who decide what artists to bring, right? I think you should consider Keith. You should consider more local artists and maybe more diverse about your choices. Because sometimes we go like ang tendency itong hire amigo na ilan na to, di ba? And we don't explore and so magbalik-balik lang ng mga artists. So I think it's important also to sort of search. Nasa may effort ba, di ba? To have like a different set of artists. In terms of live performances, do you have a performance that's up and coming? It's the Bird Months now. It's Sinulog is up and coming too, so I'm sure you have some gigs to promote. Also, your social media touch points. Where can they find you? Are you on Spotify? And if so, how can they search for you? Go ahead, Keith.
Oh yeah, I have a New Year's Eve gig, but it's still not confirmed yet.
Okay,
So
okay.
go to follow me on my Facebook,
Okay.
TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Mo update ako dito
Okay.
sa na gig. But ang sure na gig is this January 21.
Okay. This is Sinulog?
Yeah.
Okay.
In Sinulog, and yeah, see you there. And still, I need more details about it, but
Okay.
it's been confirmed na sir.
Okay.
So yeah,
You,
support us.
you know what, Keith? I'd like to hear a song from Bob Dylan from you. Can you do that? Do you have a Bob Dylan song in you?
Wait.
No, a Bob Dylan song. Or you mean like, I thought you mentioned the word pohon because there's a song called Pohon from TJ. Would you be able to sing a Bob Dylan song for us here this morning? Huh? What do you think? Huh?
Maybe I can try.
Really? Which one?
Itong Girl from the North Country.
Okay, Girl from the North Country. Wow. This is. Are you sure? Is this okay for you? Okay, let's just try it, man. Okay, as a matter of wrapping this whole show on the spot up, we're gonna listen to Keith Human perform a Bob Dylan original, and then we play a song which is an original from Keith Human. He says he's gonna sing the girl from what?
Girl from the North Country.
The North Country, the girl from the North Country. This is a Bob Dylan original, and this is the version of Keith Human. Bob Dylan, of course, is a favorite artist of Keith Human. And you're listening to On the Spot with me, Jiggy Juice, and our show is what is it mean to be human with Keith Human, and this is his attempt again at sounding like this time his idol, Bob Dylan. Take it away, Keith. Go ahead.
If you're traveling to the North Country Fair, where the wind gets heavy on the borderline, remember me to the one who lives there. Oh, she was once a true love of mine. If you're going through the snowflake storm, where the river's freezing, summer ends, please see for me if her hair was still long. Oh, that's the way I remember her best. Please see for me if her hair is still hanging long. If it flows and goes so by her chest. Please see for me if her hair is still long. For that's the way I remember her best. So if you're traveling to the North Country Fire, where the rivers freeze and summer ends, please see for me if your hair is still long. That's the way I remember her best.
Wow, ladies and gentlemen, Keith Human with his attempt at sounding like his idol, Bob Dylan. Thank you so much for that beautiful performance. Keith, we're going to wrap this up because I know you have commitments. It's a weekend and all of that stuff. But before we do that, let's play a final song from the Boringly Wild album, which is your debut album, which was released just last year. But how long did you take to make this album?
Oh, I think it took 2 years.
2 years.
2 years, yeah.
So during the pandemic?
Yeah, there's a song, Live and Hail, actually, right from the pandemic.
Okay.
And then, pag balik to normal, bulot og record na with,
Okay.
with my good friend Elvin.
So this is under Melt Records,
Yeah,
right?
under Melt
Like, if you don't mind me asking, which studio did you have the Melt Studio recording studio
No,
was there?
we recorded in our own, in Elvin's bedroom, I think.
Wow, okay.
It was my stuff of microphones and nasa keyboard. So, amo rin, butang tatanan. We made our own
Wow.
studio lang.
So this was recorded in the bedroom.
Yeah, bedroom.
Wow. Interesting. That even makes this whole album more interesting. So once again, you can download it on Spotify. Just look for Keith Human
Yeah.
on Spotify, and you have the entire album there, of course.
Yeah, it's there.
And you can download or purchase the albums. That's your way of supporting local artists like Keith Human. If you love his music, if you love his craft, I'm sure you can take that love further and download the album, download the songs. You can press like it and all of his videos on YouTube, on the social media platforms. You can share his music and all of that stuff. That's the way that you support local artists like Keith. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please
And
support us.
I know it's too soon, but I'm sure you have like a new song up your sleeve. Do you have like what's up next for Keith Human?
I'll be releasing the song na jud, Bornly Wild by
Oh,
next year,
wow,
early next
okay.
year.
So there's actually a song.
Oh, Bornly Wild, but I didn't actually finish it. Like I said before, I really need to end it well, and then karon na jud siya na year na end well.
You
ang
mean
song.
you mean the song?
Yeah, so
Okay.
we actually we debuted at mga October na gig,
Wow.
and then ang mga tao was very into it.
Whoa.
So
Well, I should have asked you to sing that song then. So yeah.
so again.
Give us a sneak peek. Like, what is this? What is this song about? Like, maybe you can narrate to us. You can tell us the lyrics of the song. The best part in terms of lyrics.
I think my favorite part of the song is "We're all not like what we show online."
We're all not like what we show online. Okay, that's true.
So so it's really about us, like, kind
What
it's really about
what it means to be
fake.
human.
Yeah, it's really about fake people, what it means to be human, and sometimes social media doesn't define us. We are more than that, and we should not let it define us.
I'm curious about that word fake, and original, all that stuff. Like, first of all, the idea of the self is ever evolving, ever changing. Right? You're not the same you as you were yesterday. You're different now. So the idea of the self is ever changing, ever evolving. So you could be somebody else tomorrow. Maybe not by leaps and bounds, unless you're a crazy person. There's some small incremental changes, right? But the idea of you said the self, right, or the fake human. Don't you feel that we're all just trying to fake it? Don't you feel that? Because if you have to act like the way who you really are, your primal self, don't you think that aren't you scared that you're not acceptable? Aren't you scared that people will not like it? She will not like me. Your parents will disapprove of this. You know what I mean? We're just trying to operate in the world with such fakery because we fear that we're not going to get accepted by our fellow human beings. Do you feel that the word fake is too strong a word? Because we are all kind of trying to fake it a little bit, right?
And we're all plastic.
Yes.
We're all just trying to fake it.
Yeah.
But we don't have to drag other people down with us.
But they're also fake.
We're trying to
They're also
fake it.
fake.
Yeah. But yeah, it's an unlimited paradox.
Yeah. Yeah.
But these are the worst kind of people na drag down.
Yeah.
And param done faking it. Let's just help each other.
Let's just fake it till we make it.
Yeah. And leave your baggage by the door.
Oh yeah, that's what the song's about. And in fact, this whole fake thing, this is like an entire show in itself, right?
Yeah.
And maybe we should do a show with Keith Human. Why don't we, right? Ladies and gentlemen, as a way of saying goodbye, let's play a song from Keith Human, Leave Your Baggage by the Door. Keith Human on 105.1. Woohoo!
Okay, Lizard.
Let's go. Let's listen to the song first. Was it alright, Jill? Was the interview okay? Huh?
More end up than I thought.
Pabalas ako nag-expect na end up.
Yeah.
Murag game result ko.
Ngano man nga
Murag rare na kayo.
your influence is Bob Dylan but yeah. You're not in handle kang you're gonna sound like Vincent Echo. Like
Oh yeah.
you're not your songs are not attempts at sounding like Bob Dylan. It's acting like somebody else.
Yeah,
But your vocal range is also actually very Bob Dylan also. Right?
So I need to be different from that.
Okay.
Para naturally certain listening na yung social.
Put up together. You can leave this here and come back for anything if you like. You can leave the guitar in the back here and come back. Yes, if you like.
Picture ko, sir.
And how the picture here do this? Sigado ko bro. Sigado ko siya. Anyway, this is more Bob Dylan nilagi ba eh?
Oh, wala niya ang pinatato. The first song recorded sa dyan.
Kasama picture here. Picture ni bro. Apil ka. Dito. I'm going to try to talk to my friends from Israel. If they have a special screening movie, then sila will come to our maybe even just you, man. But you do popular covers.
Oh yeah, but sa coffee shop naman na nilinis.
Yeah, but you can still do that.
Yeah,
You're game to do that.
Oh yeah, of course.
Of course, you can do original songs also. But yeah, I'm picturing, kita ka lang sa lobby sa SM Seaside Cinema. Pwede kang magpapayad doon eh. Ha? Sige ba, I will propose that way. Ha?
Yes, sir.
Let's go, let's go. Let's go.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, thank you. Bro, ano na ko bro?
Sige, sir.
Right, kalimot bro, sa Christmas song. Pasko ba?
Ako na itong butangan, sir. Para, sige, sir.